Monticello Raceway. Meet you at Monticello. There's excitement at Monticello.
Good evening and welcome once again to the Inside Track. I'm your host, Gary Sussman. When putting together this sports talk show or any sports talk show that uses a lot of tape highlights, there are going to be some days when you have some exciting tape footage and sometimes when you have to struggle to get the best. Well, whatever you're doing right now, if you're about to eat dinner or if you're going to sleep, just hang on for a little while because we have some exciting and great race footage for you. From Monticello Raceway, we have two divisions of the New York State Sire Stakes, purses over $26,000. The professor, John Manzi, will be along to analyze both the Yonkers Trot and the Battle of Brandywine. We take you behind the scenes at Monticello Raceway, visit with Mr. Lou Hicks and into the lab, see what's done with drug testing. We'll have trivia and upcoming promotions and much, much more. All that for you on tonight's show of the Inside Track. But first, let's take a look back now, see who did what on the Week in Review. Mr. Terry Finch, driver of the week last week at Monticello Raceway. He piloted Owen Cash to victory in the third leg of the Sun Sam Series. The time, 2:02 1/5. That was a national seasons record for two-year-old pacers on a half-mile track. Terry Finch is also the second leading percentage driver at Monticello Raceway. Jimmy Allen had a double on Friday, June 19th with Cape Pine Premier and Balzan. He has 22 wins on the season, which ties him for fourth place in dash wins with this man, Ronnie Ingracia. Ingracia had a double on Sunday, June 21st. A dead heat finish with Clippers Pride in number 1 and Quick Teamer in number 10. Mike Sorrentino Jr. won his first pari-mutuel race on Thursday, June 18th, race number 8, when he guided Hempstead Murray to victory in 2:07 1/5. The horse paid $9.80. Johnny Gilmore had a double on Wednesday, June 17th. Hondo's Promise and Puriata Pete, a double on Friday the 19th, including Fortune Harvey, that returned $82.60. And Brother George, a double on Thursday, June 18th, including a double dead heat with his brother. He had Just Like Mom. He had a double dead heat with Brother John, and he also won with Bold Star. He had 5 wins on the week. George Gilmore has now 18 victories on the season. And by the way, here are the driver standings at Monticello Raceway through 8 weeks of the season. John Gilmore leads with 48, followed by Joey Rico with 28. Jimmy Allen and Ronnie Ingracia have 22 apiece. George Gilmore with 18, and John Gilmore is also the leading percentage driver at Monticello Raceway. Time for our highlight calls of the week, and we take you to Sunday, June 21st at the Mighty M, where the New York State Sire Stakes were presented for the racing public. Now, this is a preview of some of the horses that will be seen in the Monticello Classic on August 2nd. The first race is race number 7. Bobo was the morning line favorite. Now, it started to rain just before this race, so the track became a bit sloppy. Ben Steele was driving in place of the famed Billy Houghton, and Bobo had the lead for a good part of the race. But Shadow Dancing did some high stepping, came around the three-quarter pole, caught Bobo, and won the race. So let's take a look at that highlight call for you now. Let's set the stage. Sunday, June 21st, race number 7. And for the call of the race, let's go to track announcer Jerry Glantz.
Leopard still at him, and the outside is second. Gonna Be Happy along the rail right there third. Ricky's Gem fourth. Napoleon Don at the rail fifth. They go by 3/4 in 1:29 4. Paddock turned the final time. It's Bobo with the lead. Leopard still living in the outside. Gonna Be Happy is third. Napoleon Don rough gated. Shadow Dancing shaking loose on the outside with a rush. They've got an eighth of a mile to pace. Now they turn for home. It's Bobo opening up by 2. Gonna Be Happy with Shadow Dancing on the outside. Bobo, Shadow Dancing flying on the outside. Bobo and Shadow Dancing's gonna win it all.
Shadow Dancing with Jim Miller in the sulky, paying $33.60. Those fractional times 28 3, 59 2, 129 4/5, and a final time of 2 minutes and 1/5. Shadow Dancing taking that New York State Sire Stakes. Highlight call number 2 was race number 8 on June 21st. Again, 3-year-old colts and geldings. And in this race, Brand New Fella was the horse to beat, the morning line favorite. And after the race, many were saying that this is the horse to beat in the Monticello Classic. Brand New Fella out of Precious Fella was driven by Warren Cameron and established a time of 1:58 4/5 over a sloppy track at Monticello Raceway. So enough talking. Let's set the stage. Sunday, June 21st, race number 8. Let's go to the monitor and take a look at this call of the race.
To the 3/4 pole, Brand New Fella parked the mile, gets the lead. Moving up in the outside, Freedom Fella, Penman fading third. Doc's Fella between horses 4, 3/4, 1:28-3. The third quarter, 29-4. Into the turn, it's Brand New Fella with the lead. Freedom Fella second, Doc's Fella looking for Racing Room third, Viking Tiger 3 wide. They've got an eighth of a mile to pace now. They turn for home. Brand New Fella with the lead. Freedom Fella the outside with Doc's Fella. Through the lane, Brand New Fella opening up on the field. Freedom Fella and Doc's Fella battle for second. Brand New Fella in front.
Brand New Fella, 158 4/5. Look for that horse when the Monticello Classic arrives July 26th and August 2nd. And I should mention that the purses in those two races, both over $26,000. A good day of racing at Monticello Raceway on Sunday, June 21st. And I should also mention that on Friday, there were also two New York Sire Stakes. Rather, on Saturday, Sweep with Perry Simpson won the first division in 202 1/5, and Maxine's Sister with Jack Bailey, 159 4/5. That was on Saturday, June 20th. That was for 3-year-old fillies, also the New York State Sire Stakes. Highlight call number 3, a bit of an oddity at Monticello Raceway, and a good piece of oddity that it was. Class C3 race. No one thought it was going to be anything spectacular, but we were wrong. It was a dead heat between two brothers, John Gilmore and George Gilmore. So let's set the stage. Thursday, June 18th, race number 4, and let's go to the monitor and take a look at this family dead heat.
They head toward the 3/4 pole. Some opposition with the lead. Just Like Mama's closed the gap second, a gap of 5 lengths. Landview Mary third. Moonlit Blue Chip at the rail 4, 3/4 in 1:34 1/5. Paddock turned the final time, some opposition by a length and a half. Just Like Mom is second, a gap of 4 to Landview Mary third. Myron's Bunny in the outside 4th. Moonlit Blue Chip looking for Racing Room 5th. They've got an eighth of a mile to trot now. They turn for home. Some opposition with the lead, Just Like Mom out of the 2-hole. Through the lane, it's some opposition with the lead. Just Like Mom closing in the outside. Some opposition rough gated in the outside. Just Like Mom, they are heads apart.
And as you can see on your TV screen, there is the photo. You cannot get any closer than that. That is a dead heat. John Gilmore and George Gilmore finishing both in a tie for first. But that was done one other time in racing history. It was done this year also. March 10th at Dover Downs, Allen and Paul Meyer. But that was in a pace race. This was the first trotting race ever to have a brother dead heat. Coming up on the personality profile, we take you behind the scenes once again at Monticello Raceway into the lab with Mr. Lou Hicks. We'll have that for you right after this message.
Yonder, rising from the mist of the loch, aye, the ruin of Macbeth's castle. Or is it?
Surprise! Every place you see here is in New York State, because New York has more to see and do than most countries. Call for a free vacation guide that shows you where everything is.
And now for an old Scottish ballad.
I love New York.
Harness racing is one of the most regulated sports anywhere in the country or anywhere in the world. And I'm here with Tom Hust, who is the assistant to the presiding judge, Barry Friedlander, who is assistant state vet, and Anthony Romano, along with Little New York. And Judge, why don't you explain exactly what takes place before a race? Here we are on qualifying day. What do you have to do with the vet in order to make sure that these horses can race?
We have to check each horse's tattoo to make sure it's the proper horse. Each horse is assigned a tattoo, and it's put on the inside of their lip, their upper lip.
Can we take a look at that?
Yep. Would you like to roll it back, please?
Hello, Little New York. Do you have anything to say?
This tattoo is right up here.
And the tattoo, yes, there is the tattoo. There is the tattoo, and by that you can tell
Identify the horse.
if the horse is eligible.
That's right, if it's a proper horse.
And Barry, what do you do as the vet? What procedures do you go along with? I know you have to take blood and...
Well, Tom decides on which horses for a random blood sample, and then I just take the blood sample, and later on the laboratory will pick it up from us, and they'll do the exam.
And that's basically all that takes place before the race.
Right.
Now,
In a regular race, we would take blood on every horse. We just do a random check in the morning for qualifiers.
so the way to find if a horse is eligible, every horse has a tattoo just as every person has a social security number.
Exactly right.
And then afterwards, after the race in the lab, is when they examine if there's been any drugs or anything
Right.
that's not supposed to be in the horse's body.
That's right.
And what we're going to do in a couple of minutes is go into the lab and show you exactly what happens to the pre- and post-race testing.
We
We moved inside once again at Monticello Raceway into a place that not many people get a chance to visit. That is the lab. This is where the tests are done for the pre-race and post-race examinations of the horses. And the gentleman to my left in the white coat is Mr. Lou Hicks, who is the assistant director of the drug testing program for the State Racing and Wagering Board, headquartered in Cornell. Good afternoon, Lou.
How you doing? This program, as you see it here, is staffed and operated by Cornell University and funded by the New York State Racing and Wagering Board. The laboratory is charged with the responsibility of screening all blood and urine samples sampled from horses here at Monticello Raceway for the detection of any foreign substance. There's basically two parts to the overall program, a pre-race and a post-race. Blood only is taken pre-race, approximately an hour and a half before each race, by a New York State Racing and Wagering Board veterinarian and brought to the laboratory. The post-race samples are both blood and urine, taken immediately after the race from designated horses, again by New York State Racing and Wagering Board officials.
How do the two procedures differ?
The blood and urine, or pre-race and post-race tests, are basically the same, and for purposes of demonstration here today, we could follow a typical pre-race blood sample as it progresses through the laboratory doing a normal screening process.
And what basically is it, how to do that step by step?
The screening process utilized here consists of extracting the blood with an organic solvent. The organic solvent is then concentrated to a very small volume and spotted on a thin layer chromatography plate, which is then developed in the appropriate solvent. After development, the plate is sprayed with a variety of chromogenic spray reagents, which then bring out any foreign substance that might be present in the sample.
And the foreign substance will determine whether a horse will be scratched based on the pre-race
Yes.
test.
As mentioned earlier, this laboratory is charged with the detection of a foreign substance only at this point in the laboratory. Due to lack of sophisticated equipment in this laboratory and time constraints put up on pre-race testing, only foreign substances can be detected.
I think that's a very interesting point, that right here at Monticello Raceway, in this particular lab, you're just detecting for the foreign substance. If there's any other action that's going to be taken in regards to the horse or the owner or so on and so forth, that must come out of Cornell. They make the final, the final determination of what that foreign substance actually is.
Yes. Here, after detection of a foreign substance, that result is relayed to the appropriate Racing and Wagering Board officials here at the racetrack, or at the raceway, which then is the action taken is determined by the appropriate official, which in the case of a pre-race foreign substance, the horse is normally scratched by the officials here at trackside. At which time additional samples are taken from that horse and sent to Cornell University for elucidation and identification and actually putting a name to this foreign substance. That information is then relayed to Racing and Wagering Board officials at their headquarters in the World Trade Center in New York City, at which time they make the determination as to whether it's a drug positive or a foreign substance, and the appropriate action is then taken from that point.
So in the overall scheme of things, it's really a three-step process. First here at the local racetrack, then up to Cornell, and then finally back down to New York City.
Yes.
Now, are there any other tests that are done on the blood that's taken pre-race or the blood and urine that's taken post-race?
Yes. What you've seen so far is a typical screening procedure utilized in the initial detection of a foreign substance. Once a foreign substance is detected pre-race, an additional second sample is obtained from the horse, and specific methods utilizing specialized equipment are then used to further elucidate that foreign substance.
How is this program funded? Is this racetrack sponsored? Is it sponsored by the state? How does that work?
As mentioned earlier, the New York State Racing and Wagering Board is a vehicle through which this program is funded. The Racing and Wagering Board charges back to each individual raceway or racetrack in New York State the actual money to them. The board is a vehicle via which the money is funneled to Cornell University. I'd like to point out that Monticello Raceway is not exactly an impartial participant in this entire program. In addition to this program that you see here, Monticello, as well as all other raceways in New York State, fund a research program at Cornell University.
Drug detection has come a long way in the last 10 or 15 years. Obviously, we know not everything is foolproof, but at this point, it's about as sophisticated as it can be.
Yes, we've come quite a way since we started the program 9 or 10 years ago. There will continually be new unknown drugs that appear on the market, and as a result, methodology utilized, equipment utilized will have to keep pace with these new developments from drug companies, if you will. And we now utilize equipment such as gas chromatography, which is very sensitive, that were not utilized maybe in the beginning years ago.
Thanks a lot, Lou. Mr. Lou Hicks from Cornell University, part of the State Racing and Wagering Board's drug testing program. He's the assistant director, and we thank him for giving us some insight into drug detection and what takes place in the strict regulation of harness racing at Monticello Raceway and throughout New York State. We'll be back with more on the Inside Track right after these messages.
Promotional considerations for the Inside Track provided by Carlos's Restaurant, the best Italian food in Sullivan County. Lefty's Charbroil, the better burger place. Kessler Brothers Butchers, Kessler's label enhances your table. The Bagel Bakery, famous for bagel treats and sandwiches, open 7 days. House of Lions, fine dining in a country inn atmosphere. Dunkin' Donuts, it's worth the trip, open 24 hours. Ellery's Betty Bright Cleaners, featuring complete tuxedo rentals and tailoring services. Capito Brothers Tire Specialists, for family care of your tire needs. And by the Holiday Inn Restaurant of Liberty, diversity in dining for the public appetite.
Welcome back to the Inside Track, and even though there might be a baseball strike, the reincarnation of Lindsey Nelson is with us now, the professor, Mr. John Manzi, wearing one of his fabled Oriental rug jackets.
It's a neat one, huh? How about this one here?
One of the great ones of all time.
This is a wild one.
You also have wild buttons on there.
A triple dead heat right there.
Enough with your jacket.
Okay.
Two great races we're going to look at, the Yonkers Trot and the Battle of Brandywine.
Top races.
First, the Yonkers Trot, $279,000, the 27th edition. We haven't had anything on from Yonkers. Tell us a little bit about Yonkers Raceway and then the Yonkers Trot.
Yonkers, the former giant of trotting, established in 1950 at the old Empire Racetrack right there in Yonkers on Yonkers Avenue, a half-mile racetrack before the Meadowlands, the giant of trotting.
And the Yonkers Trot, as I said, 27 years, the first leg in the trotting Triple Crown.
Right. The two others are, one is August 9th at the Meadowlands, the Hamiltonian, $800,000, and on October 9th, the Kentucky Futurity in Lexington, Kentucky, the Red Mile. That's the third leg.
That city still is Kentucky, Lexington.
Lexington, yeah. If I get it out right, it is, yeah.
Now, before the race, Smokin' Yankee probably figured to be the favorite.
Yeah, he won the first heat, and he looked to be the favorite, but as we're going to see by this tape, Suss, he was upset, not badly, but he was beat after cutting the mile by a horse, Keystone Triton, Eldon Harner, a former Monticello leading driver. But unfortunately for Eldon, his horse was off stride at the wire, and Mo Bandy, Carl Allen's horse, winner of the first elimination heat, or the second elimination heat, was placed up as the winner.
Okay, I want to take a look at that race, and then we'll talk about the lap-down break, I believe it's called.
Right.
You can explain to the fans who don't know
exactly
what took place. Okay, let's set the stage for you then. Saturday, June 13th, race number 7, the Yonkers Trot, the 27th edition, and for the call of the race, let's go to the audio and Mr. Bob Myers.
They're off. Smokin' Yankee Loney inside tries for the lead. Del Megan, the center track, second. Mo Bandy towards the inside, third. Keystone Triton, fourth. Balanced Image, fifth. Interception, the outside, sixth. Del Megan is off stride. Around the turn, moving towards the backstretch. Smokin' Yankee in front by 2.5 lengths. Mo Bandy second. Gap of a length and a half. Interception, the outside, third. Keystone Triton on the rail, fourth. Balanced Image, fifth. Lime Almahurst, sixth. 2 lengths back to Redbud J, seventh. Del Megan back trotting and trailing the field, eighth. Quarter time is 31 seconds flat. At the paddock turn the first time, Smokin' Yankee on top by a length and a half, Mo Bandy second. Gap of a length and a half, Interception third, Keystone Triton fourth, Balanced Image fifth, Lime Almahurst sixth, Red Bud J seventh, gap of a length and a half, Del Megan trails the field eighth. As they come by the stands the first time, Smokin' Yankee maintaining a length advantage, Mo Bandy on the rail second, Keystone Triton moving on the outside. Approaching the half-mile pole, Smokin' Yankee on the inside, Keystone Triton on the outside. Halftime, 102-2. Around the clubhouse turn the second time, Smokin' Yankee leads by a half length, Keystone Triton the outside second. Mo Bandy on the rail third, Balanced Image alongside fourth, Interception fifth, Del Megan is off stride again. Around the turn down the backstretch, Smokin' Yankee in front by a half length, Keystone Triton right there alongside second. Mo Bandy on the rail third, Balanced Image the outside fourth. Gap of a length and a half, Interception fifth, Red Bud J on the rail sixth, Lime Almahurst seventh. Approaching the three-quarter post, Smokin' Yankee leads by a half length, Keystone Triton second, Mo Bandy on the rail third. Three quarters, 132-4. Around the far turn, Smokin' Yankee has the lead. Keystone Triton comes to him on the outside second. Interception the far outside third. Mo Bandy right there on the inside fourth. They come to the top of the stretch. Smokin' Yankee on the inside, Keystone Triton the outside second, Mo Bandy third. It's Smokin' Yankee on the inside with Keystone Triton. Smokin' Yankee and Keystone Triton and Mo Bandy. Keystone Triton in front.
Now the final time was 2:02 3/5. Keystone Triton actually finished first, Mo Bandy second, but Mo Bandy was given
the win, right?
The win.
That's because of the lap-down brake rule, Suss, and that's when any horse's nose is equal to or reaches any part of the braking horse's body when they cross the wire. Any horses that are in that position are moved up and the braking horse is moved back. So Keystone Triton was actually the winner, but because he was off stride and lapped on by Mo Bandy was placed up top.
Very interesting.
And it's also going to see, if I may interrupt a minute, Suss, in this next tape we're going to see too, Computer finished second at the Brandywine, Battle of Brandywine, and he was placed from second to fourth because of the same lapped-on brake.
Okay, I just wanted to mention that Smokin' Yankee did finish third in that race.
He did finish third, not disgracefully beaten, but he was beaten.
Okay, now to our second big race. The Battle of Brandywine took place on Sunday, June 14th. What was interesting about this from the Monticello viewpoint is that some of the drivers who were at Monticello for the Meadowlands Monticello Driving Championship had to fly to Brandywine to be able to take part in this race.
We flew them down in the rain, and they made it on time, of course, and it rained down there too, and they went just a track record mile, 1:55-1 in the mud. Artie's Dream, bragging rights to the top 3-year-old.
And Smokin' Yankee from the Woolworth stable was the favorite in the Yonkers Trot. French Chef, also from the Woolworth stable, figured to be prominent in the Battle of Brandywine, but it was not to be.
French Chef has been demoted. He's now a short-order cook. So he's not winning, and he can't win in front. He can't be driven like a champion. He has to be driven like a good horse, and he has to have cover. He can't cut it and win.
That's the professor in his analysis of French Chef. So let's set the stage for you. Sunday, June 14th, race number 7, the Battle of Brandywine, and announcer Roy Schutt.
There they go. French Chef goes right after that lead. Artie's Dream is second. Seahawk Hanover, who has like this kind of going, is coming up fast on the outside. French Chef with the lead. Seahawk Hanover second. Artie's Dream is third. Eastern Skipper fourth. Second Alert is fifth. Curtis Hanover sixth. No Nero. Curtis Hanover coming around for the first quarter. French Chef with that lead. Seahawk Hanover challenging by the first quarter. 27-3. In spite of the rain, as they come by here, French Chef is bristling. Now this second quarter will tell. French Chef on top, Seahawk Hanover right there second. Artie's Dream is third. Eastern Skipper fourth. Second Alert fifth. Curtis Hanover sixth. Computer. And No Nero is the trailer. Around the turn, French Chef keeps the lead. It's French Chef into the half mile. Now there goes Artie's Dream up on the outside to challenge. Halftime 57-4. Up the backstretch, French Chef stays there. A half a length. On the outside, Artie's Dream is second. Seahawk Hanover third. Eastern Skipper is fourth. Second Alert is fifth. Curtis Hanover sixth. Coming into the far turn, Seahawk Hanover. On the outside, Artie's Dream now moving into the lead. Artie's Dream, French Chef coming on. Eastern Skipper into the three quarters. 125-3. They come to the top of the stretch. On the outside, Artie's Dream with that lead. Artie's Dream, French Chef, waiting to come on. Eastern Skipper, Artie's Dream in the stretch. Artie's Dream, Eastern Skipper coming on the outside. Coming fast on the outside is Computer. Computer on the far outside, along the inside. It's Artie's Dream. Artie's Dream and Computer. Artie's Dream is the...
Roy Shutt, Artie's Dream, right. Shelley Gaudreau, 155, 1/5. And in all honesty, that really wasn't that good of a race call.
No, Roy Shutt has called a lot better races in his earlier years. He's quite an elderly gentleman now, and really one of the deans of race callers, though.
What happens to French Chef now from a media standpoint?
French Chef, you know, after Niatrust, they tried to make a superstar or a super horse, and there is a super horse this year, but unfortunately he's not French Chef. It is Artie's Dream. And just, I think just last weekend, French Chef tried to front run again at the Meadowlands, and Seahawk Hanover, and many of them beat him. He finished 7th. So, as I said earlier, Stanley can't keep racing this horse like he's been racing him. He's not a super horse. He's a great horse, but he's not a super horse.
And there you hear it from the professor, telling us a little bit about French Chef. And we'll have more with the professor and upcoming promotions at Monticello Raceway and trivia right after this message. That was good.
Promotional considerations for the inside track provided by Clare's County Seat Restaurant for a congenial and truly elegant culinary experience. Ralph Cutler's Mail Modes, home of the Sandsabelt Slack, free alterations while you wait. The Down Under Lounge. If it ain't happening at the Down Under, it ain't happening. The Canton Restaurant. In Monticello, Chinese means Canton, open 7 days. The Valley Inn, where to go for sandwiches, burgers, and Connie's special cheesesteaks. Willie's Bend and Elbow, serving dinner, pizza, and sandwiches in a lounge of distinction. Falls Poultry. You'll fall in love with Falls. Miss Monticello Diner, the finest in early American home-style cooking. And Bernie's Holiday Restaurant, food served with a pinch of love.
Trivia time now on the inside track. Last week's question, who holds the fastest times in Monticello Classic history? Professor, a double-edged sword. It wasn't one horse.
That's right, too, Sussy, as we know.
Silk Stockings in 75, Happy Motoring in 79. Lou Bernstein of Monticello wins dinner for 2 in the Raceway Dining Terrace. Professor, this week's question.
We're staying with the classic, Suss. As you know, our $300,000 race goes to post August 2nd. And here it is. Who is the only former Mighty M driving champ ever to win a Monticello Classic?
And there you can see on your TV screens, that's the question, and where to write to the inside track, Monticello Raceway, Monticello, New York. And you too can win dinner for 2 in the Raceway Dining Terrace. Coming up for all those in Manhattan, a big July 4th weekend in the Catskills. July 4th, Professor, fireworks display
Fabulous
at the Mighty
fireworks display, about an hour's worth after the races, starting after the races, followed
by a great thing on Sunday, July 5th.
The grand old man of harness racing, Rambling Willie. 67 2-minute miles to his credit, 115 wins, 10 wins in 20 starts this year, over $1.9 million in his career, just a legend in his own time.
And this will be one of the few chances for people in New York and the metropolitan area and wherever to see Rambling Willie.
He's a famous horse out in the Midwest, and you know a lot of his money is donated to the Church of God in West Mansfield, Ohio, over $100,000 of his earnings. So he's getting to be more well-known on the East Coast.
So a big July 4th weekend coming up at Monticello Raceway.
Hope to see a lot of the New Yorkers up here.
All right, and for all those of you who live in Manhattan, come up to the Catskills and visit us at Monticello Raceway July 4th weekend. For the professor, Mr. John Manzi, Lou Hicks, and Dick King from Orange County Cablevision, have a good evening. We'll see you next week on the Inside Track.
Meet you at Monticello. Great racing at Monticello. The world's very fastest half-mile track. That's Monticello Raceway. Meet you at Monticello.